Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So this week, certain Social Security beneficiaries are set to receive checks worth all the way up to $5,108. In today's video, we are going to be covering who all can expect to receive checks this week from the SSA. But before we go ahead and dive into it for today, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock or $200 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you'd rather just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the free stock is just sell it for what it's worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into it for today. So before we get into the checks being sent out this week by the Social Security Administration, once again worth all the way up to $5,108. First off, we have Representative John Larson calling on DOGE to testify before Congress because we had a whistleblower come out saying that we had Trump officials within DOGE copying Social Security numbers, putting at risk the data in Social Security numbers of millions of Americans. So once again, before we get into the checks going out later on this week, first off, we're going to be watching this clip by John Larson. But first off, according to NPR, whistleblower says Trump officials copied millions of Social Security numbers. So a whistleblower says that a former senior DOGE official, now at the Social Security Administration, copied these Social Security numbers, names, and birthdays of over 300 million Americans to a private section of the agency's cloud. That private cloud environment is accessible by other former DOGE employees at the SSA and is lacking adequate security. The whistleblower claims potentially putting an enormous amount of private information at risk to being revealed and possibly used by identity thieves. In a written complaint filed through the nonprofit Government Accountability Project, Charles Borges, the chief data officer at the Social Security Administration, claims that senior Trump appointees at the SSA who were recently part of the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE for short, team made the copy in a way that constitutes violation of laws, rules, and regulations, abuse of authority, gross mismanagement, and creation of a substantial and specific threat to public health and safety. Borges said that career cybersecurity officials within the SSA described the decision to copy the data as very high risk and even discussed the possibility of having to reissue Social Security numbers to millions of Americans in the event the cloud server is breached. The copy of the data appears to have been set up inside the SSA's existing cloud infrastructure, which operates on Amazon Web Services. However, according to the complaint, the copied data had far fewer security measures in place to protect it than the SSA's standard protocols typically require. So once again, they're talking there that possibly we might have to reissue Social Security numbers to millions of Americans or all Americans if this does in fact get breached. Now this might be a little bit of an overreaction, but once again, we do have John Larson calling on DOGE to testify before Congress with information that they found whenever they were looking into Social Security. Was there fraud taking place, and was there a reason for them to actually copy Social Security numbers, names, addresses, private information on a separate server? Was this necessary? Let's go ahead and watch this clip by John Larson.
I'm also here this morning because we have a resolution of inquiry that we've introduced to get the information from the whistleblower who has talked about what's happened to the more than 300 million Americans who depend on Social Security. This impacts all 435 congressional districts. Madam Speaker, you have 161,000 Social Security recipients in your district. I know that you do not stand for having their personal information gone through, looked over, and utilized for anything that was unattended, let alone having been taken from its secure position in Social Security and stored in a cloud that no one from the Social Security Administration has access to, and that makes everyone's information vulnerable. We're calling for DOJ to come before the Ways and Means Committee so that they can tell the American people, number one, why they needed to look at your personal data to begin with. And number two, what are they doing with it, and why did they take it from a secure location? No one on DOJ has been vetted by the United States Senate or by Congress. None of them are accountable for what they're doing, and for the president to allow them to have access to every American's personal data is an outrage. And Democrats and Republicans should join together and do our responsibility as a separate branch of government, and the branch of government that has control over Social Security, and make sure that these DOJ individuals are held accountable. We demand answers. I'm proud to be joined by Rich Neal in making sure that on the Ways and Means Committee, the Committee of Cognizance for Social Security, that we have DOJ come before us. If they're doing such a great job, if they're exposing all this so-called fraud and abuse, why aren't they in front of Congress telling us about it? And we demand the fact that they be accountable for what they've stolen and put into a cloud. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I yield back.
Okay, so once again, that was John Larson calling on DOJ to testify before Congress. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Do you think that he's overreacting, or do you think something actually bad could come out of this? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Now, moving on to the checks going out once again later on this week. Actually tomorrow, to be exact, by the Social Security Administration. These checks are going to be worth all the way up to $5,108 at the max, with the average check being right around $2,000. So according to Newsweek, the next round of payments come on September 17th. For individuals with birthdays falling between the 11th and 20th of any given month, if a deposit doesn't appear on the scheduled date, recipients are advised to wait 3 business days before contacting the SSA. Weekends and federal holidays are not counted as business days. Now, as far as how much a check can be, the exact payment each beneficiary receives is based on their lifetime earnings and the number of years they paid into the system through payroll taxes. As of January 2025, the average Social Security retirement benefit is about $2,006.69 per month. The maximum benefit depends on when the recipient retires, so it's going to be up to $2,831 per month. If they claim at the age of 62, the earliest possible retirement age for Social Security, up to $4,018 a month if they wait until their full retirement age at 67. And then finally, if you're able to wait all the way until the age of 70, you can receive up to $5,108 per month. And of course, later on, actually next month in October, on October 15th to be exact, we are going to have the announcement for what the next Social Security cost of living adjustment increase is going to be. Right now, they have projections ranging anywhere between 2.7 to 2.8%. This can obviously change. It can go up to maybe 2.9%. It can go down to 2.6%, but more than likely, it's going to be either 2.7 or 2.8% for next year in 2026, which for the average retiree is going to mean an increase of anywhere between $50 to $55 per month. And then of course, you're also going to have the Medicare Part B premium deducted from that increase, that is also subject to go up by right around $21.50 per month next year in 2026 as well. But once again, we are going to find that out next month on October 15th. To be exact. But with that said, leave your thoughts and comments below. What would you think about a 2.7 or 2.8% increase? Would you be happy with it? Would you be dissatisfied? Leave your thoughts and comments below. But that's all we have for today's video, and I will see you in the next one.